What's going on, guys? So from the past video that I did, I mentioned a part of it about how I took steroids when I was younger, and then I got flooded with a bunch of comments, pretty much all of them positive. Well, I think 100% of them was really positive, and a lot of people were reaching out to me in like the DMs and basically asking for my experience and just being like, thanks for being open about it, and it's kind of refreshing to hear someone talk about it. The funny thing I get is people would have never thought I was on steroids, even when I actually took it when I was that young, and for me, I could see a huge difference. I mean, it was a small difference, but for me, it was still pretty big. But I was super open about it. So anytime people would ask like if I took it or if I would, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm actually on it right now. And everyone would be like, no, the fuck you're not. I was the only person in history, I think, that would claim to be on steroids, and people would be like, nah, you're not. Well, I think everyone in the fitness industry, people are like, you're taking steroids when they probably are, and they're denying it. I can say for a fact none of the people here take it. Bart doesn't take it. I know you guys are like, oh, Bart and Nadeem, but Bart's even kind of like, why the fuck are you taking? You could do this naturally if you actually train properly, got enough sleep, and got enough nutrition in. But I was 19 years old. I think I was 18 or 19. I know for sure 19 before I. We're talking about steroids.
Huh?
We're talking about steroids. You want to tell them your experience?
Huh?
You want to tell them your experience?
Yeah, it was hard.
It was hard. Yeah, so I was like 19, and I just remember I never really had the inclination of doing it. Like, I never wanted to. I don't have like an addictive personality, so I was like, oh, like I didn't want to like do it and feel like most people are like, oh, you're gonna get addicted and get on it, like, and it's hard to get off of it. So I was just like, I don't think that's me, but also didn't want to put myself in that position to test it. But then I had a few friends that were actually doing it. They're bigger powerlifters, and I kept asking them. I was kind of intrigued, and it just kind of came to the point where I was just like, fuck it, I wanted to try it. So I remember it was 4th of July, I forgot what year now, but it was like, I would say 6 years ago now, that I was like, I injected for the first time. I had a homie inject me in my shoulder, and he taught me how to do it. Even then, this guy was more of like an experienced powerlifter, and like he's been doing it for years. He was pretty well versed in his steroid knowledge, or whatever the science is behind that. But even he himself didn't know how to do it properly. Later on, I learned in terms of, I had another friend that was like, oh, like, are you aspirating? That was one, he was pissed off that I was doing it, but two, he was like, all right, if you're doing it, like, make sure you're doing it properly. But like aspiration about injecting the needle and pulling it back before actually injecting, to make sure you're not in a blood vessel or like a artery or something. So simple things like that I learned after the fact of taking steroids. But I kind of want to talk more about how it was, how I felt, why I don't recommend it, why I would say it probably makes sense if you are. I'm not here to like judge or tell anyone to do it, because I feel like I've done it, you know. And again, like my personality type is like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna hide and try to act like I'm unnatural. One of the comments I got was like, oh damn, that's why he was so strong. I appreciate some of you thinking that I was strong, but in terms of how much I've gained, so my squats, bench, and deadlift before steroids, and then after the 3-month cycle was a 565 squat, a 360 to 365 bench, and a 585 deadlift. And then my squat after was around, I would say around 600. My bench went up to like around 385, and then my deadlift went up to 600. So that's how much it increased in 3 months. So it's not like this. I feel like that, if you look at it retrospectively in terms of how long people train Hub and how long into my training I've gotten to that point, it was a pretty quick jump to, in 3 months, increase that much in all 3 lifts. But it wasn't like what people think, like they're gonna get on steroids and they're gonna go from 225 to 405. Not saying that doesn't happen, but it's people that take a really harsh amount and longer, don't know how to do it properly, and they probably take all the different types of steroids, where there's many different types. So I was just taking tests, and I only did about 300, I forgot the exact terminology now, but a normal dose is 500, I think, microliters. Or someone in the comment can correct me if make it a little bit better, but Yeah, so I took 300, so even smaller than a dose. And then I would say people that are on like a testosterone replacement would be like anywhere around like 150 to 200, or as low as like 100 if they're just getting on from like a doctor's recommended. But I was taking that much, and even then I did see a lot of improvements. But the more I was on it, the stronger I was getting. And just like the as the time passed, you obviously get side effects. And I was very young at the time. I already had back acne from just being a kid. Me and my brother both had pretty severe back acne, and it did aggravate it and make it worse. Pretty much at that time at 19, I almost cleared it up, but it definitely brought it back in almost worse than I ever had it before. I'd never wanted to take off my shirt. Every time I would squat, I would have to make sure I was wearing like a black shirt or something because it would rip the acne on my back, and it's honestly pretty fucking disgusting, you know? Like there's a lot of people that I would see at the gym and like they would just have blood on their back, these big powerlifters, and I'm like, oh, that's not appealing. And I guess if you want it, that's what you gotta pay. Some people are lucky with genetics, they don't ever get anything. I already had kind of like what they would call bitch tits, like gynecomastia since a kid, just like a little bit puffier nipples, but being on, so I got on it twice, like a year after the first time. Both times never affected the gynecomastia, so it just stayed the same as since I was a kid. And then a lot of people are pointing out my hairline, but the hairline thing I feel like is actually really good compared to where I feel like it should be, because my dad and my dad's side and my mom's side both went bald at a super young age. So I feel like I'm actually keeping it up pretty well. Yeah, this stuff pretty much started like recently. It wasn't back then when I first got on. So yeah, that was like the kind of like the journey through it. But the things where I would say it makes sense for some people if you did want or thinking about it. From my perspective, I would never recommend it. Just because I'm like, you could do everything naturally. The things that you can gain on it, you gain quick, but it also comes with other side effects like getting hurt quickly because your tendons can't keep up, and that definitely happened with me. And for 5-6 years now, I've been dealing with the same injury as I'm starting to get stronger, just naturally getting more and more increasing in the weight. The things that happened from a previous injury just in my tendons are starting to act up again because those don't heal like a muscle would heal or something, and they don't get stronger like a muscle would, especially as quickly as you're gaining strength when you're on steroids. So those are simple things. But when I got off, I tried doing everything properly. You still pretty much lose almost all the size and all the strength that you gain. So it's like, it's not really you that builds that strength, you know? And you definitely can't keep up taking steroids because it's not healthy. Even though I just did test, which is arguably healthy compared, because doctors give it to you, it can improve the quality of your life, but not in a young aged kid like I was. But then if you get into the other shit like D-ball, DECA, Tren, everything that you learn more when you get to steroids that are way worse, that I never touched, that's when you get huge, like a lot more heart problems, liver problems, kidney problems, health problems in general. And definitely that's where the main side effects come from, where it does affect with your emotions. Luckily for me, I'm pretty level-headed, and the myth behind like the roid rage and things like that, it only amplifies it a little bit if you already have certain tendencies, and it messes with all your emotions throughout. So for me, I've never affected anything emotional, anger, anything ever. The only thing that, because I felt bigger, stronger, I felt more capable, was me being able to be a little more confident and stand up for myself a bit more. But that came also with just doing it naturally. So that's nothing to do with the steroids. Again, like when a lot of people, because I tell everyone here, I mean everyone here at the gym knows that I'm on. So whenever like sometimes people will be talking about it, or someone will be like, I want to get on, and they can't be like, we try not to like and get ourselves involved in other people's lives like that, but they're like, hey, go talk to Nadeem. So they'll come up to me like, hey, I'm actually thinking about getting on, and I ask them like 1,000 questions on like, why did you fix your diet, did you fix your sleep, how long have you been training, all these certain things. And I'm like trying to get them to be like, hey, I actually don't need it, you know, because when it comes down to it, they probably have a shitty diet, they probably have shitty sleep schedule, they probably have so much stress in their life, and like their training isn't even on point. They haven't even been training that long to even be considering it, getting on. Plus, none of them are trying to be the competitive powerlifters or strongmans to compete and make a living off of this. Even those people that don't make money doing this like you think you would. You know, there are a certain few that have like good coaching in gyms or whatever, but you're not gonna be the next. I don't know how to say it in a nice way. You're just basically like with taking steroids, it's not the end all be all. There's still a lot more that comes with it that you have to do, and it's not just gonna put you to the top, and it doesn't make like your whole career that much better. So you see a lot of these people that kind of are at the top, and you think their life is made, they're making money, but they're still struggling, they're still having to do a lot of things. So it's that transparency in terms of what you see online isn't there, but I feel like that's where a lot of people that see them and they're like, oh, I want to get to the level and might want to take steroids as well to get there, isn't the case. Plus, with proper diet, nutrition, training, everything, you have guys that are arguably stronger naturally at lighter body weights that can outperform many people, especially these athletes that are unnatural, but they're in the sport a lot longer. So you have a lot of these guys that are coming out of the USAPL that are fucking animals, but have been competing for a long ass time. Because the one thing that I would say, I would say 3 years, you look at powerlifters, there's a whole new group of monsters. It's because none of them can last. Again, there is a select few that are able to keep pushing and doing that, and there's a lot of my friends that are in the sport that we have open conversations and we even agree on it. And the biggest thing is you go up to them and you're like, hey, I want to get on. They'll be like, don't be a fucking idiot. And you're like, how are you gonna say that? You're on. But it's like they know what it actually takes to be on. That's where I would say, like, especially people that are listening, and from the first time I did a video like this, I've had a lot of people come up to me, and especially in the DMs, being like, hey, I was actually thinking about getting on steroids, but your video like kind of convinced me not to. And I've had, I would say, about like 20 people hit me up being like, I've actually decided to get off because of your video. And I was like, that's cool. Whether you want to even get on after this video, it's completely fine. It's ultimately your choice, but I'm just here to give my experience on why I got on and why I got off. And basically tell you guys that in my experience and my personal opinion, it's not worth it. You have so much more room to grow naturally. It does have an effect on your health. It does have an effect on how much you can keep when you get off and when you do cycle off, because there's so much more to it than just taking it, you know, and thinking that you're going to keep all this size and strength when it's not. Plus, you got to realize, what are you actually trying to go for? Is this lifting stuff like you're trying to be the next Ronnie Coleman, or you're just doing it because you love the sport, you want to be in the sport for a long time and you want to look good? And arguably the people that have naturally built their bodies, in my opinion, look the best. But again, it's my own opinions. If you guys do have more questions, I would like to open up a more serious conversation, and also maybe even bring on people that are kind of open to talking about it onto this channel. I know we primarily have natural athletes on this channel, but I think opening up talks, because I remember you guys like the talk show a lot, and having a good mix where we can have open and honest conversations without judgment would be really cool. So definitely leave comments on what you guys would want to know, even when it came down to like first experience pinning myself, which I hate needles, and I had to basically overcome a fear of injecting myself 2 or 3 times a week, which was scary. I remember the first time having like anxiety attacks or panic attacks, basically just being there shaking and literally being sweating in the bathroom for about like an hour, not being able to inject it. So definitely a lot of funny stories, being able to pull out a needle and just blood is squirting out. So it's not as pretty as it seems, but definitely leave a comment. I appreciate you guys listening around. And again, for the people that wanted this video, here you go. And I appreciate you guys hitting me up and saying that it's cool to have someone that was open and honest about it. Again, whatever I've done in my life, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna hide behind something. So it's like, I feel like if more people kind of broke that up, because one comment I saw was like, damn, if he's on steroids, that means everyone in the fitness industry is on steroids, which is kind of true. But also there's so many more athletes that you'd be surprised who are natural, that I know are natural, that we've had these talks and I've known for quite a while. And there's also the ones that it's up to them whenever they want to talk about it, that act like they're not, or just don't say anything, that have been for so many years. But it's, again, up to them. I just don't like it when people act like they sell like programs and do all these things. And it's not anyone I'm talking about in particular, just the fitness industry in general, where they sell you a lie, or like this supplement or this bullshit program will get you this way on how I achieved it. Not me, them. But then they're really on steroids, and the amount that people end up taking to get that big is a crazy amount. Again, I didn't take much, and I took the most mild form of steroids possible. So again, that's why I agree with people when they're like, you don't look like you've taken even when you were on, and I kind of agree with them, because again, I didn't really, but the strength did come, the size did come, the fat was still there. You don't ultimately lose just fat out of nowhere. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys.